Hey guys, Dean here. From an abandoned ghost town in the Wild West to strange bodies in the desert, these are the 20 creepiest Easter eggs in video games. Number 20, GTA 5 Ghost. GTA 5 is not just about supercars and high-end mansions. There's a darker side to the game you probably didn't know about, and it's housing some mysteries of its own. The Ghost of Mount Gordo is perhaps one of the most famous of these mysteries. Based on an in-game story of a missing woman, Jolene Cranley Evans, her ghost will appear between 11 PM and 12 AM on Mount Gordo, where she can be seen staring at the player and floating in midair. This is seriously super creepy. The period in game lasts only about 1 minute in total, so you've got to be real quick. It works on multiplayer too, so it's super chilling to show your friends. I actually saw this for the first time when I was just sat on the hill with like 4 friends. Pretty creepy times. If you go closer, the ghost will disappear, but you'll still see the chilling words etched in blood below her on the rocks. Number 19, Halo 3 Cavemen. The Halo games have long been subject to some crazy myths and a multitude of Easter eggs, and Halo 3 is one of the best for this. On the game's Sierra 117 mission, there's a few different spots where you can find literal cavemen hiding within the caves and rocks, and it's creepier than you think. There are 3 different locations where you can find a lone caveman on a cliff, a hidden caveman across from a body of water, and then also the main sighting where you can see a family of them amongst some rocks. These guys are just sitting static with a really creepy vibe to them. I'd just dodge this bullet if I were you though. Number 18, Half-Life 2 Zombie Scream. If you've played Half-Life 2 for a bit, you've likely ran into headcrab zombies. They look creepy, right? Well, you've probably overlooked their moaning and just written it off as some kind of generic blabbering in Swahili. Well, if you reverse those sounds, let's just say it hits different. Throw that sound into any audio editor and reverse it, and it'll be clear they're not just choking on some rice cakes. They're actually screaming for help and saying, "Oh God, help me, and I felt that one. Number 17, World of Warcraft Goldshire Children. In horror movies, anything with children is just pure creepy, especially when they're stepping out of a well or a TV screen like in the movie The Ring. But WoW takes it to a whole new level with these demonic kids that spawn in the town of Goldshire around 7 AM on the server. These kids leave their house and surround the area in a pentagram shape before returning 40 minutes later. If you actually follow them into the house and go to the second floor, there's some really creepy sounds that play, like screaming or crying, and strange sounds from the god bosses in game. But the strangest thing about this is there's no explanation at all for what this Easter egg even is, but it just doesn't sit right with me.
You will die.
Number 16, World of Warcraft Sinners of Karazhan. The Tower of Karazhan in World of Warcraft is a seriously amazing raid, both in the classic and in the game's reboot, but it's home to one of the creepier elements of the game, one that was probably restricted due to the age rating for the game if they decided to implement this one. You can only actually access this area through glitching or special tools and cheats, or on a private server with commands. But if you enter through the Karazhan sewers entrance and go deep down into the labyrinth below, you can access a secret hidden dungeon called the Forgotten Crypt, and this is where you'll see some seriously creepy bodies hanging from chains and ropes upside down submerged underwater. Pretty twisted, right? Number 15, GTA San Andreas Body Bags. San Andreas is not just a fun open world game, it's actually a place of great mystery, and one such mystery is that of this pit, which is located somewhere in the desert, in an area between Area 69 and the Verdun Meadows aircraft graveyard. There's a car park nearby next to this pit where 6 body bags have just been dumped. There's no context whatsoever or any kind of clear meaning to this, which is what makes it all the more creepier. It's safe to say whoever left them there left their car in a hurry, or something happened to them too. I'm gonna call aliens on this one. Number 14, GTA San Andreas Photographers. The so-called suicidal photographer is a strange phenomenon in GTA San Andreas that's even weirder and far more harrowing than the last one. This is one of the oldest myths from the game, in which you can basically witness a photographer on the coastline that runs into the nearby intersection, taking photos of the surrounding San Andreas view before completely, out of the blue, just walking directly into the water inlet and dying instantly. This seriously bizarre Easter egg is really crazy. It spawned a ton of theories, and perhaps it's a glitch, but there's some strange voodoo going on here for sure. Number 13, The Witcher 3 Statues. The Witcher is all about killing monsters, right? We've all seen Geralt cut the heads off some crazy tier beasts, but they always say be careful of the quiet ones. In Witcher 3, there's a Doctor Who Easter egg where there's a pair of 2 stone angel statues located in a stone chapel in game. Now, you wouldn't typically expect to be carrying a sonic screwdriver in The Witcher, so you'd usually pay no notice, but when you leave, you'll see they are no longer in the same position, but are in fact in a whole new place, staring right at you. And guess what? If you decide to turn your back to them, they'll teleport again. This one seriously gives me the chills. Number 12, Skyrim Cleanup Cell. Anyone that's ever played Skyrim has had at least some moment of degeneracy, whether it's harassing the locals or slaying them at nighttime and hiding them in the sewers. You've probably committed some type of crimes against humanity in this video game. Well, you probably figured once you looted those bodies that they just disappear to La La Land and you'd feel no shame or guilt for what you'd done. Well, you'd be wrong. All of those poor souls actually get sent to an ultra secret room which is called the Dead Body Cleanup Cell that you can access only if you know the special teleport command to it. This really strange cross-shaped room houses a ton of bodies with their inventories emptied. It looks like some kind of 80s disco room, but it's pretty disturbing. Anyways, moving on. Number 11, GTA 4 Statue of Happiness. New York, home to the beautiful Statue of Liberty, and Liberty City, home to the Statue of Happiness? Not only does this statue strangely look like Hilary Clinton, it's extremely disturbing and not as friendly as it looks on the surface level. Upon closer inspection, this statue has a huge, chilling, cheesy smile, and its own heart chained up inside it. Talk about dark. Oh, and this thing also sits on Happiness Island. Yeah, right. Number 10, Red Dead Redemption 2 Missing Sports Team. Red Dead Redemption 2 has an immaculate storyline and the visuals to back it up, but just like some of the GTA games, it's holding dark secrets of its own. There's no creepier story than that of the missing sports team of Blackwater. But it's not just the discovery of the missing persons that makes this one creepy, it's the sense that the costumes just seem so out of place in the Wild West. The strange thing about this one is the presence of any kind of bullet wounds or evidence of any type of stabbing is virtually non-existent. There's just a bunch of spare limbs and 2 of the bodies wearing clown masks. The circus must be in town, so I'm gonna call Pennywise on this one. Number 9, Red Dead Redemption Ghost Town. You thought that was the only thing wrong about Red Dead? Well, there's more. There's a creepy town in the first game called Tumbleweed, which is probably going to haunt your dreams at least for the next couple of weeks. Everyone who's visited this town has said that it's been the subject of ghost sightings throughout it, and there's truth to be told about that. The strangest part is probably the demon dog. In the town, you'll hear almost constant howling noises, but you'll never actually be able to locate any dogs anywhere. There's a message referring to the howling inside a church though, but inside there's words saying the devil has got into that beast etched inside. Take from that one what you will. Number 8, Black Ops 3 Mannequins. Mannequins sure are creepy, and if you've ever seen Doctor Who as a kid, you'll probably be scarred for life. I know I was. Well, the COD developers left a nasty surprise in the form of a little Easter egg in the Nuketown map. Any smart kid quickscoping the mannequins in the map would soon be quick to realize he'd put himself in some hot water. Yep, that's a robot mannequin army. Someone's gonna have to call Will Smith because this is iRobot all over again. Number 7, Dark Souls Parasites. Dark Souls is a game best known for its intense combat and boss fights, but there's something more sinister in these games. Something hiding in the dark. Parasites. The original game has nests of bugs and worms that you can break open to find exactly the type of thing you'd imagine, like something from the Alien movies. But these death worms don't just make you jump, there's a more chilling surprise behind them which is a little bit delayed. A chance that one of these creepy larvae will actually infest the player with its eggs. Basically, the game will give you very subtle hints and clues to this, where you'll start scratching your head occasionally, or you'll notice you're suddenly only gathering half of the souls from enemies that you're probably expected to. Real low-key things like this, they're actually pretty hard to suss out until it's too late, that is. The missing souls are in fact feeding the evil bug monster which has been growing in the player's brain where it will then hatch. But it makes for a pretty neat looking helmet, wouldn't you say? Number 6, Far Cry 5 Pennywise. If you've seen Stephen King's It, chances are you'll know how terrifying Pennywise is, and if you're scared of clowns then it's safe to say this is one to skip, as it's not for the faint-hearted. You should not be sticking close to the sewer systems anyway, or you might find a creepy Easter egg in the form of a single red balloon left at the sewer pipe's entrance. Well, we all know who stalks the sewers, it's best to pass over this place unless you want to float too. Number 5, Silent Hill 4 Rabbit. Robbie the Rabbit is a weird reoccurring character in the Silent Hill games who doesn't really serve much of a purpose other than just to unhinge you and play on your nerves. But perhaps the weirdest cameo is in Silent Hill Reveal 4, The Room, where the doll is sitting on a bed. Now, at first glance, it isn't too abnormal because the thing's just not even moving, but once the girl who owns him is rushed off to the hospital, the rabbit springs to life. He's pointing at the player and he turns his body around. I don't know which girl and her star sign is playing with her rocks and crystal ball right now, but she needs to be stopped. Number 4, Payday the Witch. On Payday 1 and later in the remastered level in Payday 2, there's a mission based on the game Left 4 Dead called No Mercy that basically lets you play Heist, which is based on the level of the same name from the zombie game by Valve. In the hospital, the power will inevitably cut out, and there's a small chance that the witch from Left 4 Dead will make a very sudden cameo, appearing behind the locked closet door in the nearby hallway near the reception. Now, if you stare at it for too long, it'll scream and jump scare the player, disturbing her just like what happens in the original game when you get too close to one. Number 3, Sonic CD glitch screen. Any old school gamer who loves retro games is probably a fan of Sonic, but you probably also have no clue as to how dark the game really is. If you're looking in the right place, that is. And no, we're not talking about the whole Sonic EXE creepypasta this time. There's actually a really strange, weird blue screen that you can pop up in the game by entering a combination of different buttons. The strange blue screen is littered with random Japanese text on it, which is accompanied by some really strange and chilling music that plays. The weirdest thing though are the warped and strangely disturbing renditions of Sonic art in the background. The Walmart Sonic from Japan somehow doesn't have the same charm. Number 2, Fable 2 Demon Doors. The Fable developers place some strange doors all around their game, ones that don't really have any main role in the game other than just to trick you. Talk about making a deal with the devil. The optional area of the Winter Lodge in Fable 2 is probably the best example of this one. You can find a winter-themed cabin in the snow that looks like a picturesque location from a Christmas fairy tale book. But the moment that you walk through the door, everything turns upside down and twisted into some kind of horror reality, with the lights going out, but you'll still be able to see chilling skeletons and devices of torture all around the cabin, as other elements of the room convert into more of these devices, and the outside world changes into horrible sights. Talk about multiple personalities. Number 1, Runner 2 Slender Man. Now, it's hard to make a game like the Runner 2 creepy. After all, it's a fairly pleasant and innocent looking platformer game, but somehow they managed to even taint the purest of games with this one. While you're just jogging along, being happy and merry, you may notice somewhere in the background that someone is watching your every move. A dark figure. This one's a little more than just creepy, it's just plain wrong. Slender, go away. Those were the 20 creepiest Easter eggs in video games. Comment below your favorite Easter egg from this list and any other interesting Easter eggs from video games that you know about which I didn't talk about in this video. Like the video and subscribe for the best gaming videos on YouTube, and I'll catch you next time.